Guys, I'm making an apology. Um, I'm sorry I said the N word, but I have autism. So, so it's okay. A little while back, I made a video about this girl named Films by Hannah, who was quote-unquote the most racist Roblox YouTuber. I made a video that got over 3,000 views, got a lot of hate and a lot of people saying like, oh, well, this is for rage bait. She said in her description she is an example of how not to behave and said everything on there is a joke, including herself. So, you have a lot of other people that were talking mad poop about this girl on my channel, agreeing with me. But I had a lot of people that were supporters as well. And that's gonna happen when it comes to making a video exposing or talking shit about another YouTuber that is significantly bigger in size. And that's not saying she's fat, I'm saying her sub count, of course. I did kind of like bully her about in this video and was a little harsh, I do admit. But for the most part, I just didn't really respect what she was doing at all. And yes, I understand the sense that it is quote-unquote rage bait. But rage bait is, I mean, everybody already knows this. Rage bait is always going to be an excuse to be racist. Or have very, very, on the edge humor. Which obviously nowadays is against TOS and not allowed. Yeah, I could be being a white knight like YouTube security mall cop, but it's also the fact that she's making Roblox content, which is more directed towards kids. Not entirely, Roblox is for anybody, but just the way her thumbnails are in her channel, it looks like it would be more directed towards kids until you actually read the titles of some of her videos. Now, I never really believe in rage bait. I believe that you can make those jokes, and obviously look back at like South Park or even any stand-up comedian back in the day. That was widely accepted back in the day. Still, people had a problem with it, but they understood what was considered a joke and what wasn't. But there was always what is too far, because obviously a joke can be way too far, and some people don't even know that you're joking. Because you can really just say anything, but then hide it behind saying that it is a joke, even though it really isn't. And rage bait, especially nowadays, which we live in a woke world where you really can't make any jokes like that. But it's also just against YouTube TOS, and I really didn't think the jokes she was making were even funny. It sounded more forced and more like it actually was what she believed rather than an actual joke. And I feel like that's usually the case for a lot of people nowadays, is that they just say it's rage bait or say that they're joking, even in reality they're not. Just to hide the fact that they actually believe the things they're saying. And I don't know for certain if that's what she's doing. It was just my point of view, and I didn't really appreciate the kind of content she was making on the platform, and I wanted to talk about it. I still wholeheartedly believe that maybe she did believe a handful of stuff she was saying, and really wasn't a joke. But even if you are joking like that, you are playing with knives. You're playing with guns right there, because nowadays, people like that get canceled very easily and can even get killed. A lot of people do not take those kind of quote-unquote jokes lightly, and they'll go as far as trying to terminate your channel, cancel you, and potentially even dox you or ruin your entire life and reputation. There's people who even have been terminated from colleges and jobs just because they said the N-word once. And maybe they said that they were joking, but colleges and stuff like that do not take that lightly. They don't take that as a joke. Now, I don't know if she actually said the N-word, but she made a lot of racist jokes and comments that were definitely pushing the lines. But I want to talk about her again because there's a lot that has changed with Films by Hannah. Now, if you may notice, there's no videos on Films by Hannah's YouTube channel, and her name has actually changed to just Hannah and Hannah's Gay Agenda. She still has over 50,000 subscribers, but she has no videos. She took off all of her videos, all of her racist, quote-unquote, rage bait videos, and just really edgy content. They're all gone after she was receiving an immense amount of backlash and hate from other creators exposing her. Apparently somebody on a live stream really did expose her and brought some hate to her channel. And she since realized and grew the fuck up and took down her content. And this is the video that she made about the matter.
Even though I genuinely did not believe what I was saying, I see how incredibly irresponsible it was for me to think that people, especially kids, were not going to repeat the things I was saying. Not only could other people use what I was saying to further harm other people, but anyone clicking on the video could be seriously hurt by the things I was saying. Since I said and posted these things, sincerely believing that it was rage bait, I failed to realize the lasting effects that it could have on other people.
Exactly. At least she's being honest there, I think. She's realized, I don't know how you didn't realize that at first, but maybe, I don't know how old this girl really is. She looks young, so maybe she didn't realize that to begin with. Well, I'll take that into consideration, that maybe she just wasn't mature enough to actually realize that, you know, your content's gonna reach kids, and the stuff you're saying is very bad. And people who are, quote-unquote, fans of you are going to repeat the stuff you say and think it's accepted because you said it. Now, even though you're not a big creator, people will set role models for anybody that they're fans of, and many people were a fan of you. Now, I honestly feel like most of the people who actually did genuinely watch her were already racist to begin with, so I don't think that she mainly inspired them to be that way. I feel like they were already like that way, but they just used her as an example, an excuse to justify the fact that it's quote-unquote okay to say these things, but in reality, it's obviously not.
I recently took all these videos down knowing that it's not going to make it right or cover anything up. I really just wanted to make sure no one else was watching these and taking inspiration from what I was saying.
Who's going to re-upload it? Who's going to re-upload it? All right, let's get an archive. It's Hannah Archive. Let's get it. Okay, no, don't do that.
Also to mention, I clearly did not deserve any of the money, views, or attention I was getting from them. It may come as a shock to many of you, but for a little while, I've always had the idea in the back of my mind that I needed to tone down what I was saying.
Well, maybe you should have took that into consideration, Hannah. Maybe you should have took that into consideration to begin with. How long have you had this channel and you never, ever took it into consideration until you received the biggest amount of backlash? Even when I made a video on it, you still were like, whatever. Listen, I think it's because you were just doing all this for views. You knew that it was bad, you knew that you should tone it down, but you didn't want to because you were like, well, I'm getting views for all the wrong reasons. I want to get canceled so that I can get even more views. I hope when I get canceled, maybe I'll get a lot of views, a lot of money, and maybe more subs. I feel as if that's the main reason. But then she finally reached the big amount of backlash that was too much for her to handle, and she was getting so much hate, so she pretty much had to do the right thing, finally.
I was getting pretty good views, and I had people who genuinely supported the content, which made it really hard for me to step away when it shouldn't have. There were two big things that made me really reflect on what I was saying. I had a Discord server and quickly realized how my viewers were treating each other, especially if they had differing opinions. They would repeat things I said to insult each other in a harmful manner.
I'm not surprised. But I don't think that she really inspired that too much, even though they said they did. I think that's just the audience that she was reaching the entire time. I mean, because her content was always edgy, so edgy people will end up liking that type of content. I don't think she inspired them to be that way. Maybe a couple people, but I feel like for the most part, she was just, you know, one of the only Roblox YouTubers who were like this. So they're like, oh my god, she's just like me. I don't think that she inspired them, though.
When I would ban them or give them a warning, everyone would point out how I say the same things on camera, and they should be allowed to as well. This led to people saying extremely horrible things, which I of course removed as soon as I could, but it made me truly realize how much of an impact I was making on these people. The second event that led me to the shift in mindset was when a popular YouTuber made a live stream calling me out for this behavior.
And his name was VooruS. Oh, okay, no, it wasn't. It wasn't me. But see, this is what I was talking about, the popular YouTuber. This is when she finally got the big amount of backlash, which led to her getting quote-unquote canceled and then, you know, blah, blah, blah. But this is exactly what you wanted. Listen, I know this is what you want.
As I watched it and read the live chat, as well as comments on my channel, instead of taking my usual route and getting defensive or not taking the time to listen, I made sure to fully watch what he was saying and think about it. Since this occurred so close to the Discord incident, it was really my pushing point and made me realize I needed to step away from my selfish desires. I'd like to bring this up so you can see my perspective and what was stopping me from changing. I am by no means using this as an excuse or justification, however, I think it's important you see insight on what was going on in my mind and why I was unable to change. I have autism, which essentially means my brain works differently from people that don't have it. One thing I personally struggle with constantly is the ability to empathize with other people and see where they're coming from. Since I typically have a hard time understanding things, when someone explains how what I said made them feel a certain way, I can be very closed-minded and defensive. Instead of realizing it's an issue within myself, I get upset and retaliate.
Oh, she has autism, guys. Don't make fun of her. You're ableist if you do. That's her excuse. She has autism. She can do this kind of stuff. She can say the N-word, guys. She has the N-word pass. She has autism. I don't know if she's using that as an actual excuse or just saying that because she does have autism. I'm not surprised that she has autism, but that has nothing to do with anything. Like, you still are mature enough, clearly, to understand what you were doing was wrong the entire time. And obviously moving past the YouTube content that she was making, remember, she was also a fake domestic violence victim, as well as, like, basically just being an overall piece of shit to begin with. Like, she's been lying about a lot of shit and jokes around about a lot of shit forever. She has a very, very edgy type of humor, quote-unquote humor, or she's just a bad person to begin with. Either way, whatever. That's Hannah. She has autism. She can do it, guys. Now, I don't know if she actually has autism or not, or maybe she's like a self-diagnosed autist. I don't know. Even I probably have autism, and I don't act that way. You know, I'm not the best person either. I'm not the greatest, but I actually realize when I feel a lot of remorse, and I don't like receiving backlash. This bitch wants to receive backlash. She likes the attention, any attention she gets, negative or positive. It doesn't matter to her. Any attention, any view, any money that she receives is good for her, and her ego is going through the roof. But now she's finally realizing after getting absolutely shat on. And I don't know if her views were going down or what, but that's probably also why she made this video.
Whether that's by being condescending or in this case, making my content progressively worse to double down. I know that about myself, but still in the moment when I'm processing an emotion intensely, it's very easy to react without thinking until it's too late. I wanted to get this apology out as soon as I could while still keeping it authentic, even though you can see me reading. It's very hard for me to process my thoughts in an organized manner, so this was the best way I could get it across. However, I will be taking a break to reflect on my actions and learn how to control my emotions in the future. Obviously, I am not in therapy, as that is apparent. At this moment, I'm aware of at least one other channel pretending to be me, and I do not condone anything they are saying or posting.
Who? Somebody's pretending to be you? I need to stop them. Who is it? God damn it, she's fucking making the hive mind! Oh no, the swarm! The Hannah swarm is gonna come out. There's gonna be way more YouTubers like this. Oh God.
But to wrap this up, in reality, nothing I said means anything unless change comes along with it. Going forward, I promise to be a good influence and seriously think through what I'm saying before posting it. No more offensive jokes, rude comments, or even cursing. I realize no matter what I say and who I intend to see it, there's kids that'll always stumble across it. And I want to make sure my channel is a safe environment for everyone and no one feels hurt. I want to thank all the friends that I've had that have called out this behavior, and I want to apologize for when I got upset at you for saying it. I'm so sorry it took this long to make a change, but I've learned a lot and I'll do whatever I can to make sure this never happens again. I'm grateful that I was never too popular, but I'm saddened anyone had to see it in the first place. I'm sorry.
Alright guys, who was the ghostwriter? You know, we have a multiple choice here. Number 1, John Shedletsky. Number 2, Colleen Ballinger. Number 3, Logan Paul. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, who's the ghostwriter. But I appreciate this apology. She's changing, guys. You know, maybe she's just doing it because she received that amount of backlash. In reality, maybe she doesn't actually feel bad. But this is a good apology. I mean, there's really nothing too bad about it. She's kind of open and honest for the most part. The little autism thing was, I mean, I guess, like, that could be an excuse. Maybe she thinks that's the reason of why she's acting this way. I mean, that's her opinion, I guess. But she did the right thing in actually removing all of her content. It takes some balls to do that because that's a lot of money that she is losing out on. Yeah, that like shows that she actually is taking accountability to an extent, that she's actually going and deleting all of her videos and putting out the effort to actually make an apology video, and even pursuing a different YouTube channel and being family friendly or more, you know, not edgy. I don't know if you will be family friendly or not. I mean, you don't have to be. You just don't be edgy. But you know, maybe she did like finally just do this apology video because of the immense amount of hate she got. Maybe she doesn't actually care too much about this, or that she, you know, kind of believed everything she was saying. Regardless, it's still good that she actually went and deleted all of her videos. You can't really hate on that and making an apology. And the apology wasn't necessarily a bad apology. She wasn't crying. She didn't do the close-up camera shot at the intro of the video. She didn't start playing the ukulele. It's more of a genuine apology, which I do respect. But apparently the live streamer that exposed Films by Hannah was a guy named Steak. He was streaming and he basically just talked about the Films by Hannah kind of deal, and that was the reason on why she really, you know, deleted all of her content. Because obviously it just takes one somewhat big YouTuber like Steak, who, you know, live streams and reacts to your content. Now, I don't know who Steak is, but yeah, clearly that guy is pretty big and has like thousands of viewers watching and witnessing the crimes committed by Films by Hannah. She's a monster! Anyways, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about the new Films by Hannah stuff that's going on, since I did actually play, I guess, a little bit of a part in her termination by making that one video that was, I guess, somewhat popular, but not really. 3,000 views is not a lot compared to the amount of views Steak got and such like that. I still thought, you know, it is something I've talked about in the past, so I probably should talk about it again. Just be better, guys. Do better. Just like Joey Swole said, you need to do better. That's pretty much it, guys. Peace out.